All right, so for this week's blog assignment, you're going to need to take a list that you can find in the assignment details in D2L. And you're going to have to take and look through all of the pages that are listed. And you're going to have to sort of come up with some organization, some structural organization for your main links on your page. And so in order to do that, you're going to have to break it down into, as I mentioned, some different sections. And so I'm going to kind of show you here. This is just a model. I'm doing a gym website, and so I've been given this list of pages that they want to have on the site. And so I then went through and I broke it down into sections. And so these sections would then become my main navigation. And so I'd obviously have a home page, I'd have a main page about memberships, I'd have a main page about programs, an about us page, and then a calendar page. And so then I would have to go through and I'd have to kind of decide, okay, which page is each of these features going to be on? And so what I would do then, because I have the A, B, C, D, and E labels down here, is I would go through and I would sit and I would think, okay, this is going to be in memberships. Maybe this will be in memberships. I'm going to change my color here to red. Well, no, I'll keep policies on my membership page too, just kind of basic gym policies. And then here, calendar, that's actually going to kind of be, it's obviously on the calendar page, there'll be some kind of embedded calendar there, so that's going to get an E. Let's see, where else might I put, oh, schedule of events, which this is one that I'm going to want to shorten. I'm just maybe called events, but I'm going to put a schedule of those, so I'll put that on the calendar page here on E, and then let's see, I don't think we have any other E's. Then go through and change that to blue. So let's see, programs. Tennis is going to be a program, childcare is going to be a program, fitness is going to be a program. And then it looks like, so, and then the home page is actually going to be the home page. So that's not going to be one that we have to label here. So let's change the color and maybe we'll go with yellow. And so we're going to take the About Us page, which is D. We'll have directions, hours, news. I don't know where I want to put the news, so I might leave that one as just, I'm just kind of think about that. News could maybe go on the calendar page. It could maybe go on the home page. We'll just kind of see where we end up deciding to put that. So having a few questions as you're developing is okay, but you need to create a sitemap that's going to work pretty successful for your client, or going to work pretty successfully for your client. So after this, what you're going to do is you're going to navigate over to Google Draw. And in Google Draw, you can go into your drive and you're going to hit a create, and you're going to come down here to a drawing. You're going to create a drawing, and then that's going to open up basically a blank Google Draw. Now, before we get into the details of how I organize this, I want to show you a few tools. There's some tools I think you'll find pretty helpful. The first one is, if you go down here to page setup, you can change the screen resolution. I did 16 by 9. That seemed to work pretty well for this model that I'm doing for you all. But you could go 16 by 10 if you want. You can keep it standard too if you can work within those parameters. You can also customize it. So we're going to leave that the way I have it set. And then a few tools in Google Draw. I think we've used this. I know we've used it one other time in the semester, and maybe some of you have messed with it on your own. But in order to get text in, you choose a text box, you drag it, and you immediately start typing. Now, the next thing that you can do is you can go here to shapes. And so I got these background colors by going to shapes. I went to this shape here. So let's say I wanted a background around fitness. I drag and draw that. Now, you see fitness disappears. Right click on it. When you go to right click, you go to order, and you would send to the back. And so I'm going to undo that because I don't want that around fitness. But if you want arrows to be inserted, you can select an arrow, you draw the arrow, and there's the arrow. So you got, oh, another tool that's pretty useful is if you go to arrange. Let's say I want to take and I want to select, oh, I've still got the arrow tool. I'm going to go back to my selection tool. And let's say I want to take all these and I want to center them, and I want to arrange them so they look nice. If I go to arrange, go to distribute, can distribute them all evenly horizontally and vertically. And so you can rotate things, you can center them on page if you want something centered. So play around with these tools. These tools are going to be pretty helpful for you. But basically, your final product is going to look something like this. Now, once you have it all mapped out and you've structured the pages for this week's assignment, what you're going to need to do in order to publish this to your blog is head over here to File, and when you go down to File, you're going to say Download As. Now, you can download this as a PDF document, scalable vector graphic, a PNG, or a JPEG. I would probably download it as a PNG or a JPEG. That would probably be the easiest. And then once you've downloaded that to your machine, once you're in Blogger, you can simply upload that as an image, and then you can scale it appropriately so that it's clearly visible. And so the first thing that you're going to need to do, let's just do a little review here. First thing you're going to need to do, list out all your pages. And then after you have your pages, you're going to want to go through here and work on making, this is what would be called here is your navigation. And so you can make up your navigation however you want to, but remember the idea here is obviously usability. You can use questions people ask, you can use a topic, product type, I don't know if that style would work, but information type, maybe the type of people who are coming to the page, that might work. Life event, that one might be tough for redesigning a college website, or website navigation for a college, but you have choices based on what we studied in the book this week. So one thing in terms of navigation, a general rule is that you want no more than 8 pieces of primary navigation. Now you can have some secondary navigation, and then what's going to end up, so if we were to go, I'll give you an example here, these pieces here would be primary navigation, even the home page would be included in that, and then these would be secondary navigation, the links on each of these pages. And so of these primary pieces of navigation, no more than 8, and really in most cases you can probably get away with quite a few less than 8. So then after that, after you make your list as we laid out here, you make this list, you're going to make your sections. I don't need to see those on a piece of paper, that's just can be for your own note keeping purposes. You can even do that just on a piece of regular paper. And then here, then you're going to make a structure of what your site is going to look like. And then remember, you're going to go to File, Download As, and then you can upload it. You can keep this layout pretty simple. This is really about the logic of the site. If you have any questions this week, don't hesitate to send me an email.